Hello, friends, and welcome to League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. We're looking ahead. The 6 teams are set. We know who's going to be there at MSI, which means it's time to preview, predict, get everything absolutely wrong. Although last time at MSI, we were pretty high on RNG. Just saying. We were high on RNG before it started.
I'm not taking credit.
Geniuses.
I can't take credit for that one there. I think that this time around, we're still going to make the mistakes of underestimating the Flash Wolves. Of course, they're going to find a way to surprise everybody once again.
Yeah, they'll probably end up finishing first in the group, but Mark and I are both going to give our predictions for how the group stage will play out. They're pretty similar. There's a few differences here and there. Obviously, you better have SKT or IG in that top spot, one or two. If you don't, I mean, you're just trying to go for a crazy pick.
You're a dreamer at that point, and I give that respect to that, salute, and everything. Good job being the fanboy that you are. But I tell you what, you can't be the fanboy and put these Western teams up here at the top, because it's got to be either SKT or Invictus Gaming's finding themselves at the very top here out of the group stage. That respect absolutely needs to be paid to these two titans.
And I definitely think we'll see them split in the group stage 1-1. I think it comes down to a tiebreaker. I got SKT coming in that top spot. Obviously, both these guys swept their finals. SKT was definitely in more dominant fashion, I would say. IG had a pretty serious deficit in their finals, but SKT towards, I mean, obviously their entire playoff run, the last couple of weeks, basically ever since they lost to Griffin, they've just looked like a well-oiled machine, and the SKT of old. We know, especially, the only question mark for what lane they could play through for most of the split was Faker. And then you saw throughout their playoffs that, yeah, it turns out the best player of all time is still a pretty solid win condition in that mid lane. There just doesn't seem to be a huge weakness on this team.
No, there never seems to be the weakness here right now with the way that this SK Telecom team is playing. I think actually really maybe the only way that you could really pinpoint it here is if you look at Clid. Again, this is a player that sometimes when he's not at the very best of his game, that it really does tend to have the domino effect for the way things fall out in the rest of the match for SKT. And then on the top side, Khan, again, someone that you expect to be a strength, and you do need to rely on here, because as you head into this MSI, of course, we all know it, the top laners here are big-time carry threats, and you got to be ready for it.
And you know, Khan is still looking to kind of redeem himself after he was talking a lot of smack ahead of 2018 MSI, and he did not deliver on that hype. Looking for redemption here. I got IG in second. I still think they might be playing a tiebreaker, which would be absolutely insane to see for that first spot finish. They'd already play a best of 3 in the group stage. But for Invictus, I think they still have the potential to just be better than SKT. We've seen what they're capable of. They're the world champions. We've never really, I mean, just seeing these two go head-to-head is amazing. And we know, just like where maybe Faker was the last question mark, I think Jackie Love was the last question mark to fully play through and be a win condition. But we've seen him play Draven, play Kai'Sa, completely dominate some of these games. I think solo laners, you might have to give an advantage to IG just because they have the 2 best solo laners in the world, probably, in the Shy and Rookie. But, I mean, head-to-head, oh, this is basically a toss-up between these two.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where you're looking right now at what type of performance can you expect from IG. Well, I'll tell you, it's pretty much only 2 options here, because you're going to get full dominance, top-level play here from them, or you're going to see some incredibly questionable moves here where you're going to be question mark spamming here that ping right onto the positions all the time, thinking, these players are so dumb. What's going on here? But that's the IG way. They play on that knife's edge here, and more often than not, it's the skill that is the deciding factor, and that's why they're able to come out on top so often.
IG is basically the team that Fongbu strives and dreams of becoming in some near distant future on another planet. Where
I think everyone should be kind of dreaming to be a little bit more like IG if you can.
That's fair, but they play very similar play styles. I also had Liquid there ahead of G2, and I know people are going to be up in arms about that.
Boo.
But G2, the main question mark here is Mickey. Is he playing? How many games is he going to play? I feel like in all the interviews and things that I've heard from the outside and even some of the team interviews with Mickey, it sounds like he's not going to be playing very much. I'm fully expecting Promiscu to be playing more than Mickey, which means I still think that's enough for them to get out of groups, but I think Liquid can take that spot ahead of them.
This is certainly a cause for concern for G2. And this is not just, oh no, you don't have Mickey, that's what you're missing out on. You're really missing out on now when you're going into these matchups here, where you're going to be having the disadvantage, because when you look at these bottom lanes and you're looking at the support roles, the support players here that you have in this tournament and how they're going to be able to impact these matches, Mickey was going to be a massive part in making sure that Perkz is able to get through these laning phases, making sure that you're able to actually, kind of utilize this roster here and this flex that you have by having someone like Perkz that can play these untraditional AD carries in the bottom side. This was supposed to be more or less one of your strengths here. And if you don't have Mickey, that's a big problem, because he is a huge part in how they're able to play the way that they have this year.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he came into the lineup during playoffs, it was, this is the G2 that completely dominated the majority of the regular season. And I think people are taking it a little bit too lightly how big an issue it'll be if he's not in that squad, particularly with Perkz' performance as well, because Mickey is a more experienced support player, helping Perkz kind of guide him through that laning phase, and there's going to be some lane-dominant bot lanes that you're going up against in MSI, so I think that's a huge question mark for them. I think Liquid and G2, though, they're going to be very evenly matched. Mark has them a spot ahead.
I got the EU faith going this time. I'm sorry, guys. I got to believe in it. I think that this is something we're here with a little bit more time, of course, than compared to before where Promiscu was subbed in. I think the expectations can be a little bit higher than what we saw, and you can maybe hope to see a little bit more of the G2 personality still shine through.
If Mickey's fully healthy, then I fully agree. I think that G2 is the better team than Liquid, but that is the pipe dream. That's the big question mark. And for Liquid, I mean, people love to make this big deal about, look at how bad Fongvu was against Vega, and Liquid barely beat them. They 3-0'd them. I know there were some close games. Liquid had some rough early games. People are looking way too far into that series against Fongvu. I have a lot more faith and confidence in the 2019 version of Liquid than we did in 2018.
I definitely do, and actually one thing that was kind of nice about that Fongvu series here is the way that Impact handled himself against Zeros in the top side. A lot of people were concerned about that type of matchup. Someone who can, again, play these carries, make those outplay type of things against someone like Impact, who has been vulnerable to that as of late. And he really held his own, provided some solid play here for Team Liquid, and I think that's the positive sign you got to look for when you move towards this group stage here and you're thinking about playing against the likes of Invictus, of SKT, and G2, and you're looking how are you going to hold yourselves in a lot of these matches here. And I think now you can have a little bit more confidence in Impact not being set so far behind some of these incredible carry top laners here at MSI.
Yeah, he's going to be the biggest question mark for Liquid at this event. The one thing you and I both agree on is Flash Wolves 5 and Fongvu 6, which means probably they'll both finish top 4 and no NA or EU in semis, because that's just how it goes.
It's got to be one of these guys coming through and proving us wrong here with the Western love and saying, no, not today, not today.
I mean, Flash Wolves, people doubted them last MSI, and we know how that one ended up. But it's time for some predictions for how things are going to play out. We're going to do the old 90, 50, 10%, starting with you, Mr. Mark. 90% chance that this is going to happen at MSI.
Ooh, 90% chance here. No one's going undefeated. There's no, I don't see a way here with the talent that you've got right now at this MSI and the way that these teams want to play, how bloody it can be at times here, how aggressive. I think right here, no way anyone's making it through with that perfect record.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if someone went 10-0, even just in the group stage, not even going to that bracket round. 90% chance for me is that our boy Fongvu, or our boys from Fongvu, are ending up last place. I mean, just what I've seen from their playing stage, I can't see them finishing outside of that. The other teams just look a whole lot better. Even Flash Wolves, a 50% chance, Mark. Toss-up. Heads or tails? What's happening?
Ooh, man, this is going to be good here. I got the 50% chance here that Team Liquid is going to find the way to edge G2. Of course, if you saw in my predictions, I got G2 just ahead of Team Liquid, but I think it is that 50-50. I think it all is going to come down to this big matchup down in the bottom side of the supports. Is it going to be Mickey? Is it going to be Promiscu? Because I tell you what, Core JJ is in peak performance mode for Team Liquid. He has been since the start of the split, and he's ready to do it at MSI.
50% for me is we're getting a tiebreaker between NA versus EU. It seems to happen always at these international events. I know I had Liquid ahead with one more win at 5-5 than G2, but it's a toss-up. There's a decent chance we're going to get a tiebreaker. It might not be as important for that final spot, but it'll be between that 3 and 4. 10% chance. That's very unlikely. What's going to happen, Mark?
Very unlikely that we don't see at least one base race finish here in the group stage. I'm calling it right now. Been watching MSI these last couple of years, and every year it seems we do get one of these thrilling base race finishes here in a group stage. And when you look at the teams that we brought here, Invictus Gaming, SKT, Team Liquid, G2, Fong Blue Buffalo, Flash Wolves, all these teams have shown up against a base race, at least in recent memory here. I'm excited to watch them duke it out at MSI and give us this base race finish.
Yeah, you know there'll be some crazy endings. My 10% is Teddy is going to dominate. Just kidding. It goes deeper than that. He's going to finish with single-digit deaths, at least in the group stage, maybe even beyond. Way less than 1 death per game. I think he's capable of it. I think that this is his full coming out party for the rest of the world to see that he is one of the best AD carries on the planet right now. That's our preview for MSI 2019. We'll be talking about it a little more before the event actually starts.